They can't keep doing it. Here we are once again. A federal district judge in New Hampshire has decided to bypass not just the rule of law, but the Supreme Court of the United States by certifying a class. So we all remember 2-3 weeks ago now, I think it was, that the Supreme Court ruled that federal judges cannot use nationwide injunctions to just blanket cover whatever they want. That you cannot say, you know what, we are going to completely prevent these rules, these laws that the president have passed to apply to everybody. They said you can issue injunctions that apply to the plaintiffs in your case, not everyone that could be a plaintiff. But how did the ACLU and these other organizations get around this? They asked a New Hampshire judge to certify a class for what could be 5.5 million babies and unborn kids. Are you out of your mind? First off, we don't even need to get into what a class is. At the end of the day, a class action is just a very large lawsuit where you might have 5 or 6 plaintiffs that represent all of the plaintiffs. There are rules to certify a class. There are rules to create a class. Usually you need a lot of plaintiffs. There's no magic number, but usually 40 is about. If you have more than 40, you can usually get a class. There's other things like it has to be more effective to try a single case as opposed to 30, 40, 50 cases. It has to be more cost effective. It has to do with predominance of decisions, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, there's one thing that controls class actions, and it's Rule 23 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. And it requires that a class action be the superior method of adjudication. And this is why I think this judge is clearly an idiot. This New Hampshire judge is saying that the best way to decide whether or not birthright citizenship is based on where the child is born and not the legality of the parents is to have a class action lawsuit. And the reason that's dumb is because you're now going to spend hundreds, could be tens of millions of dollars more on this lawsuit than you would spend on a single lawsuit with 1 or 2 plaintiffs, and you would actually get the same result. If let's say ACLU et al. Versus Donald Trump is 3 plaintiffs, 3 immigrant families. And that decision goes all the way up to the Supreme Court, or even just a judge decides, yes, birthright citizenship is A, B, and C, and it lets all the illegals in. It's the same outcome as if you get the same thing with a class action, which means this class action is wrong. This is simply a way for this judge, the ACLU, these plaintiffs to get around the Supreme Court's decision against allowing nationwide injunctions. That's all this is. This is pure lawfare. It's pure politics. It's pure theatrical. It's bullshit is what it is. Now, the good thing is that the judge did say that she will stay her order for a couple of days to allow the Trump administration to appeal. And I can promise you the Trump administration is going to appeal. They're going to appeal to the Court of Appeals. They will probably win at the Court of Appeals. And if they don't, they will appeal even further to the Supreme Court and win again. Because the Supreme Court will look at this and say, you have clearly violated Rule 23 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. You do not get to use class actions to get around our rulings. Because if there is anything that judges hate more than clearly trying to mess with Donald Trump, it is having a lower judge try to get around what you ordered. They are some of the most egotistical people on the planet. This is going to be crazy. You want to talk about constitutional crisis? Have lower court judges decide they don't care what the Supreme Court says. I cannot believe this is happening. I cannot believe a judge, a federal judge, someone, it's not her first time on the bench. She's a federal judge, and she thinks that she can certify a class of illegal. Are you kidding me? This is going to be something to watch. There will be videos about this. I can promise you this. If I have to do live streams reading the decisions, we're supposed to get her decision later today. I will have a video about that, hopefully by the morning. This is going to be the Supreme Court decision of our time. Everyone, thank you all for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And I will see everyone back here at the next video where we hopefully break down this judge's ruling. Peace out, guys.